Yes, Sharad Kohli, let me quickly bring you in here on your roadmap. How do we, Sharad, go about increasing farmers' income? How do we go about doubling farmers' income?
Thanks, Uday, and good afternoon to the NewsX viewers. I think farmers seem to be understanding only one mathematics. With due respect to their annadatas, so I have all the respects for them. That probably the growth of revenue is the only way you can increase the income. But coming from the world of economics and finance, I mean, for me, that's just one of the windows. There are several other windows. If we take basic arithmetic of any business being run, either there's a revenue side or there's an expenditure side. So I think we are only looking at the revenue side. We are not looking at the expenditure side. So if we are able to reduce the cost of production, it's ultimately about profit, not revenue. I think what the farmers are looking at is they want more profits out. What do they do out of revenue if the cost of production keeps rising and at the end of the day what they get in hand is the same? So I think reducing the cost of production is one method. When I say reducing the cost of production, I agree with Dr. Jayjeet here that there is disguised unemployment massive in this sector. When 60% of the economy directly or indirectly depends on agriculture, unfortunately its contribution to the GDP is only probably 16-17%. That's it. So there's a very skewed graph which probably indicates that agriculture per se is not a very profitable venture. So if something which can be done by two people, I'm adding to what Dr. Jayjeet said, I'm just trying to expand on that, is being done by 7 people. Obviously you feel the pinch because after all the number of rupees that come home or the overall revenue is the same, which is shared between 7 people. There's a farmer, there is his 5 sons, there is his brother also, so probably, and then his sons as well. And there's the same 2 acre, 3 acre, 5 acre land on which they are surviving. So I think I would like to extend what Dr. Jayjeet said, that when you reduce the cost of production, you should move people away from farm produce. I completely agree. I mean, there are too many people trying to harvest very little land. So in economics we call this as disguised unemployment. This massive disguised unemployment. So reducing cost of production is one. Reducing the cost of fertilizers, the seeds, the cost of irrigation. There are other factors of production in agriculture which can thoroughly be looked after. Then increasing the productivity. Well, if you go to Punjab, Haryana, I don't question the productivity, but per acre output of the farmland in many cases is not sufficient. So what if you are able to generate, let's say, 20 metric tons out of a certain piece of land, and if you can generate 25 out of the same piece of land, your revenue automatically go up. So I think increasing the productivity is another factor. Then when it comes to crop intensity, because what is happening right now is that they are planting as per the technology and as per the ways and means available in their hands. Well, I must add a very important aspect, that one of the reasons which has contributed to the problem is also because there is no new modern investment coming into farming. When I say modern investment, I mean the startups. The startups, if they start diversifying towards farming, you will suddenly find things changing there. We are not seeing any new startup. How many startups tell me out of the 112,000 which are registered with Startup India? You tell me how many are registered for agriculture. The numbers will be minuscule, So I think there is a need for increasing the crop intensity by bringing in new technology for the farmers. Then I think farmers are also looking at just one market, and that market is government purchase, which is what we call as MSP. They want laws that everybody and mostly government should purchase. Well, I think they should be looking at exports. They should be looking at food processing. If I'm growing tomato or potato, I can probably get connected to industry. Here is the point, very important point, Uday, that the farm laws which came in, I think reversal of farm laws somehow although it's a very controversial issue, and we saw in the last agitation, Prime Minister had to come forward and withdraw the farm laws. But if you deep dive into these farm laws, I think there is a need that we relook at these farm laws. That was it a mistake from a farmer's perspective? Government agreed to take them back because of the size and the volume of agitation. But then if you study them, it was giving a fair opportunity for farmers to go and market their land. Middlemen, very important aspect, Uday. You are asking me to maximizing revenue, get the best. Look at the number of middlemen. Farmer cries because his crop sells as 20 rupees a kg. consumer cries because he buys at 200 rupees a kg. So what's in the middle? Who's taking away this margin? There is a wholesaler, there's a RT, there's a distributor, there is so many middle, there's a wholesaler, there are so many middlemen in between. I think they are taking away the cream of profit. So if we reduce the middlemen, I feel we can achieve MSP much sooner than later, and I think the focus should move away. Let me not call it MSP. I call it the maximum profit. I think instead of calling it maximum support price or minimum support price, I call it maximum profit. I think the whole nomenclature has to change. Farmers should be looking at profits, not the price. If your cost of production rises in the same proportion, what's the point of getting the price? So I think elimination of middlemen is the solution here.
Yes.
If this is done, I can tell you, you can see magic working as far as farmers' prices are concerned.
All right, let me take. Okay, before I go back to Jayjit, Sharad Kohli, why don't you respond to some of the points that Indrashekhar Singh has raised?
Well, as far as his point relating to we should not think of moving the family members of the farmers to other professions. I think he must be aware that today the most common phrase spoken in a farmer's family is, I say it in Hindi because most of the farmers, especially in the Hindi heartland in the northern India, where the issue is right now coming up, they say, बेटा हमने तो मिट्टी में अपने जीवन बिता दिया, बेकार कर दिया, तू जा शहर में जाके और अपना करियर बना, अपनी जिंदगी जी ले जाके. So that is the most popular dialogue, because the farmers actually do not want their children to be going through the same grind, because they know that this is not a profit making occupation. And regarding his points relating to, I do agree with what he's saying. There is an agrarian policy needed, but we in India right now, we are in stage 1. What he's suggesting is stage 2. He was citing examples of America and other countries. I agree, they have done that. But in India, we have to address the problems at the root now. Now, what has this government done in the 10 years without taking support of the government or anything? A PM Kisan putting direct money. I mean, nothing better could have been done. You just land money straight away into their bank account. They can at least buy seeds if they have shortfall in their household budgets. They can use that money whatever way they want. There was no compulsory usage of that money. Fertilizer subsidies came in. PM Kisan Nidhi came in. Cold storage, the infrastructure with regard to agriculture was built. E-marketing was started. The GEM was started. Connecting the mandis was done. So I think all that was possible in stage 1 has been done. I would still like to reiterate, the point which I said. It is not about revenue. Even if we give them the MSP, I can tell you with conviction as an economist, and I'm a chartered accountant as well, that the cost of production will rise and will catch up soon, and ultimately what is in their bank or what is landing in their hands will ultimately be the same. So raising the price is not the issue. It is about solving the other problems which hit agriculture today. And I think the government, if this was a government, with a very simple point, if this was a government which was against the farmers, I would have bought these arguments. If this was a government which had ignored farmers, I would have bought the argument. If this was a government in whose budget there was no allocation for agriculture, I would have bought this argument. Fortunately,
okay. Jayjit Parish, my thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. We're getting some more breaking news coming in.